Hey, this is Bond Diesel, and today I bring you a quick rundown of the Division 2 news regarding the PC specifications. A video was put out on Ngon showing off the new PC features for the Division 2 and revealing the specs for the game. The minimum specs that were given were a CPU, AMD FX 6350 or Intel i5 2500, 8 gigs of RAM, an AMD Radeon R9 270 or a NVIDIA GTX 670 and 2 gigabytes of video RAM. The recommended specs had a Ryzen 7 1700 or a Intel i7 6700K, 16 gigs of RAM, an AMD RX Vega 56 or NVIDIA GTX 1070, and 8 gigs of video RAM. The various other improvements had things they talked about, like proper widescreen support, HDR, unlimited frames, and so on and so forth. So, my thoughts on it. News. We have news. It was a crazy day. We now have specs, and honestly, I think they're pretty reasonable as far as I can tell. The minimum specs that I listed were for the 1080p 30 FPS, so you're down there pretty far, but you can play. The recommended I listed was actually different than theirs. On the screen you should see the actual graphic they put out, but the recommended I listed was for 1440p at 60 FPS. That's actually what I plan on playing myself. And that description, I have a i7 6700, 16 gigs of RAM, a 1070 Ti, and so I should be able to fit right in there where I want, and I hope that you are able to as well. The 4K 60 FPS basically requires most of the top the top hardware that you can think of right now. You're looking at i7, i9, or the equivalent AMD. You're looking at a 2080 or a 1080 Ti. I think will probably get you there, but I'm under the impression most people are a lot less worried about 4K and a lot more worried about hitting that 144 FPS. So if you're willing to drop the money for that 4K, though, it looks like you're going to be able to do it, and it's probably going to look pretty good. Marco Style brought up a good question though that wasn't answered, and finding out whether or not consoles will have customizable UI due to different screen sizes and for streamers in particular. That's something I would personally really appreciate, so I don't have to design my entire stream around the static UI. And then for me personally, a big thing I want to know about the graphics and so on is whether or not on something like the Xbox One X, if I'm going to be able to choose what resolution I play at. In Division 1, once they released the update, it went to a 4K, I assume 30 FPS. In Division 2, I would really like the ability to choose. I've already seen people saying that there's no way the One X is going to be able to run the Division 2 at anywhere near 4K or anything near 30 FPS. I think if we look at the recommended specs, we may realize that Division 1 and 2 aren't that different, and people have to remember too that 4K on the One X is going to be very different than 4K on a PC. They're going to dial things down. They know every single One X, so they know exactly what they need to do to make it run optimally. That probably means that it won't look as good as the PC. It absolutely won't, a high-end PC. But I would think it would be very good if they give us the option to do like 1080 or 1440p and maybe get more frames. 60 would be great, but honestly, even if you can consistently hit 40, 50 on the One X at a somewhat lower resolution, it'd be nice. But we'll have to wait and see. That said, if you like the video and you want more, please subscribe, like the video, and leave your thoughts down below. I really do want to hear from you. I do try to respond to everyone that I'm able to. If you want to find me on Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch, I am Bond Diesel. On Instagram, I'm BondDiesel_Twitch. That's what I have for you, and until next time.
1, 2, 3.